What up YouTube, this is Tech here with another video. This time I'm bringing you tips on how to save battery life on your Galaxy S7 Edge, S7 or the Note 7. And let's start with the first tip here, which is screen brightness. I usually put this down as slow as possible just because I want to save a little bit of battery here. Next up is Smart State. This is something that we want to turn off on the settings display, and then click on Smart State and turn this off. If you're not really reading anything or doing anything that takes advantage of it, you should turn it off. Next up we have the screen timeout. The screen timeout I usually set it to 15 seconds because otherwise it's going to eat battery if you leave it on. Next up is always on display. This is something that I personally think is pretty useful, but it is not something that I would like to have on all the time since it's going to save 1% of battery life every hour. Next is something that you always want to do. Make sure keep screen turn off is actually checked. Next we want to turn off some advanced features that you don't really need. First one is pop-up view gestures. You want to turn that off. Smart capture, I don't use that either. Palm swipe to capture, I don't use this one either. Direct call, I do use it. Smart alert, I do use it as well. Easy mute, this is something that I always use. Next is something that we want to turn off under Wi-Fi settings. Not a lot of people know about this, so you want to go into Wi-Fi settings, then click on advanced, then make sure keep Wi-Fi on during sleep is set to only when charging. So next up, we're going to go to privacy settings, and we're going to turn off Wi-Fi scanning and Bluetooth scanning. Next we have nearby devices. This is something that I always turn off unless it's something that I need at the moment. Next is app power saving. This is a big tool provided on the Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, and Note 7. You could actually set what sort of power your apps are allowed to use. You could actually turn off apps in here. As you can see here, out of all these apps that I have, I'm going to select one, and I'm going to select a certain option here. Let's do auto power save. As you can see here, I have some apps that are turned off. Next up, a dark theme. I actually recommend this to a lot of people. Using a dark theme is going to save you some battery life. Why? Because the Samsung screen tech actually saves power when you're not using so many bright colors. Next up is a tip for people who actually use Snapchat. I usually set Snapchat to travel mode. To do this, you will need to go into the Snapchat settings, manage, and then make sure travel mode is actually checked in here. So guys, after following the same tips that I provided on this video, I actually got my device to last 7.5 hours on screen time. This is a beast. Make sure you subscribe. I have multiple videos coming your way.